Hi, I first start with applauding you for clicking on this video because trust me, abstinence is not one of those topics that many people want to hear about or watch videos on. So congratulations for first clicking on this video. And in this video today, I'll be talking about 5 benefits of abstaining. And it's good for me to put it there first, put this out there, that when I'll be talking about physical intimacy, I'm basically meaning sexual activities, basically sex. So I'm not used to saying it out loud, so I will be saying physical intimacy, okay? And the reason I felt it important for me to talk about this, beyond the fact that I am talking about how to have a good foundation for your marriage before you start marriage, I felt it is important to talk about abstinence because it is nowadays casual sex is the thing out there. It's like every other movie program, this thing is out there. And the more that this is sold, it's easy to forget some of these basics, that abstinence is actually what God desires for us and why it is actually a blessing and a gift. So in this video, I'm only tackling 5 things. They are not the only ones, but make sure to watch to the end. And if some of the content related to building a foundation to marriage is one of the things that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, because there is so much that I have already talked about and I will be talking about in the future for the same. So let's get started. The first one is, it is an expression of your love for God. Being pure, remaining in abstinence when we are preparing for marriage is something that God has talked about. He actually talks about us not fornicating and engaging in adultery and any form of immorality. So when we do that, when we follow what he has said, then we are expressing our love for him. If you remember, and if you've read the Bible in John, I think chapter 14 or chapter 15, either chapter 14 verse 15 or chapter 15 verse 14, that verse, it talks about Jesus saying that if you love him, the way to show that you love him is by obeying his commandments. And when we obey his commandments, then even the Father will also love us, and they will come and have a home in us. Yeah. And I believe for every believer, every Christian, our desire is for us to have a close relationship and fellowship with God, and for us to express our love and gratitude for what Jesus did for us. So when you're living in abstinence, when you are living right and pure, then it is a way for you to express your love for God. So that is the first one for any believer. Yes. Number 2 is, you'll be able to build on self-control. Actually, this is something I used to really wonder about. I used to ask myself, why would God give us these feelings from the time we are adolescents and we are to use them when we get married? You know, I used to wonder, why then give us so early? Why don't you just give us when we go to the altar and say I do, then now you hit us with these feelings and all? But then sometime after I thought about it, I actually realized that it is actually a blessing because it helps us build self-control. For example, if you get married, let's say when you're 25 and you're supposed to probably die when you're 75, you've lived for 25 years, you will live 50 years before you reach your death mark, which is, I'm just giving an example, that is 75, meaning you will have lived double the age you had lived when you were single. So whatever you are able to do when you're single builds you up to help you live when you are married, because you will live longer in marriage than when you are single. And how does this self-control come in? When you start dating, you have someone that you really like and you're excited about them, and you are attracted to them. If you're able to hold yourself together, even to someone that you're engaged to, someone you're looking forward to get married to, if you hold yourself, then you will have self-control. That will have built some sense of self-control in you, that when you get married, you have this person with you. And probably sometimes it's not always that in marriage you are in physical intimacy. Honestly, it is not oxygen. So there are times you might find maybe one partner is unwell. For example, something very common, maybe the wife has given birth and she needs time to recover. Either it was CS, and even if it wasn't CS, you need some weeks to recover before you're able to go back to physical intimacy. So during this time, if for a man you had not had self-control before, you were not even able to wait for this one person that you loved so much, how will you be able to wait for them to recover? Because you don't have that, you've not built some sense of self-control to be able to wait for them to recover. And this is not just about even ladies, it's not just about men. Even ladies, you might find your partner has traveled. Maybe they have gone for a business trip, they have gone for scholarship, they've got a job, they got scholarship to go study. If you didn't manage to put yourself together, hold yourself together before you got married, it will be difficult to hold and wait for them when they go, right? And it's the same for people who have been practicing casual sex and having multiple partners. When you get married, your spouse will not be a solution to that problem. That is a problem you have to deal with before you get married, because you get married and you cannot get satisfied by one partner. You will find yourself cheating on your partner because you have not been able to hold yourself together. So these challenges are things that someone deals with them before they get married. So what abstinence does is it helps you have self-control and build on self-control, which will help you when you get married. So when God said we should wait, he knew what he was doing. He was actually helping us. He was giving us this as a gift. Okay? The third one is you will be able to have something to look forward to. You have something to look forward to. I normally ask myself, and I normally just think around this. If you have been engaging in physical intimacy before you get married, even when you go to church and, everybody thinks, you're pure, the man is in a white suit, the lady is in a white gown, and everybody is congratulating you, and you go for honeymoon. There's nothing exciting about it, right? It's just a trip. And trust me, you will go for trips even when you get married. You'll have time to travel, you'll have holidays and all that. But it's very different. The honeymoon is very different from a holiday and a trip. Now, what makes it different is because for honeymoon, it is meant for you to discover your spouse. And that is why I had this, I don't know whether it's actually the reality, but something someone was saying is the reason the bride is normally covered in a veil is so that it's a symbol that she has been covered and the husband uncovers. So it is in the honeymoon, that is where people uncover things, like literally uncover. That is what makes a difference. So at least when you are dating, when you are with your partner, if you wait, then you have something to look forward to, right? You have something you are excited about. It's not just a trip. You're not just going to a dream destination. Even if you go home, you don't go to your dream your dream, whatever, and all that. The first day is, I don't know, there's something exciting about it. Basically just have that, keep that as a gift, so that you have something to look forward to for the day after the wedding. Yeah. The fourth one is, you will avoid negative consequences. There is no physical intimacy that doesn't come with consequences, and especially when I talk about consequences and negative consequences, this is what is physical intimacy outside marriage. Because physical intimacy itself is not bad, is not wrong, but if it is done outside marriage, either for people who are not married or someone who is married who goes out, there are consequences. It comes with guilt, it comes with shame, it comes with baggage, and honestly, let me specify now for this one. When it comes to consequences, it's not just for physical intimacy. It includes even things like masturbation and all that. I hope with time I'll be able to handle that in another video. But basically, the shame and the guilt and the emptiness that comes with physical intimacy, you will avoid all that. And when it comes to baggage, if you have had several people along the way, chances are you might find yourself comparing your partner when you get married to these people, unless God heals you and delivers you, right? And you don't want to get to that, So if you can be able to keep yourself and wait, you will avoid all this drama and the consequences that come with engaging in physical intimacy before marriage. You don't need to go through it for you to be able to now start going through the processes of healing and all that. If you have not engaged in these things, please just wait. You are doing yourself a favor for waiting. You are doing yourself a favor. Trust me. The next one is, you will be an inspiration. I used to listen to my mom talk. My mom used to talk to me a lot. And I remember one thing that I looked forward to is being an inspiration. Like, she was an inspiration to me. My mom would talk about her relationship and the people, the person she dated, and how she dated my dad and all, and how she kept herself, and that inspired me. And I desired to have the same experience with my children. And it's not just about our children. You can be an inspiration to your children or the people that God brings your way. And the inspiration comes from knowing that if so and so actually managed, then it's possible, then I can actually make it. And sometimes it is by helping this person maneuver. How did you make it? How did you manage? What did you guys do? When young couples come, they are dating and they want to know, how did you guys manage to actually wait until you got married? Because you have gone through that, you have taken the steps, then you will be able to advise that young person on how to maneuver through, and you inspire them, encourage them to manage to wait until they also get married. So I've just talked about few of the points and the benefits of abstinence. If you have more, make sure to give a comment in the comment section. And if you have not watched the video on singlehood as a blessing, make sure to watch it. It's linked below. And I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.